think that switching from a PC to an Apple is a very daunting task, and that it's going to be a completely new world. But with Apple's latest switch to Intel, it could be almost unnoticeable if you know what programs to use. Most of the average user's PC's programs have already been ported to Apple, so it's not a big deal. MSN runs on OS 10, Microsoft Office runs on 10, and Microsoft's Internet Explorer still runs on OS 10. They have discontinued making new versions, but you can still find one of the latest versions out there at Mactopia.com. So there's no deal anymore about switching from PC to Apple. If you have to, you can run Boot Camp and Windows XP to run your Windows programs. And the biggest deal for people that are keeping people from switching is corporate software that's been developed just for their corporation, and that's not likely to run on Apple's operating system. So it is understandable that your business is probably the most likely thing that's keeping you from switching from a PC to an Apple. But now with Boot Camp or Parallels Workstation, it is more possible than ever to buy an Apple laptop or desktop. When it comes to entertainment and multimedia, OS 10 really has you covered on those grounds also. WMV files. Get yourself a copy of Flip for Mac and watch them play back like it's just a plain old .mov file. So your email attachments are going to work regardless of if it's Microsoft Office or a WMV file. Is going to work on Apple. And networking, you got your P2P applications like LimeWire, which is a Windows application which you may be using. That is also available for OS X. Browsing the internet, there are a few sites still out there that only work with Internet Explorer, which is a sad reality, but Firefox has you covered. But personally, if you don't go to any real demanding sites, Safari is a great client, I think, for Apple, so no big issues there. Watching DVDs and videos is easier than ever. You just pop it in, it works. QuickTime is a great thing, kind of like Windows Media Player. Actually, they're almost the exact same, it's just different codecs there. So when you get to Flip for Mac, which is actually a plugin that goes into the QuickTime's plugin folder, and it allows you to play back .wmv files and .wmv web clips. So really, there's nothing other than corporate software. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to switch to Apple for all of your anything. It comes with great bundle software. The iLife software is it's a great software. You got GarageBand, which is actually a really good. It's a really good program. It's almost pro. It's kind of funny on the TV networks. Like 1 in 10 commercials uses GarageBand as like their music. It's amazing how many people are switching over to Apple these days. And with Finder, it makes it easier than ever to burn CDs and DVDs. When you insert a blank CD or DVD, a folder will pop up. You put whatever files you want on, you click burn, and it's just as easy as could be. And you don't have to click start to shut down. You actually go to shutdown instead of start to shut down. That's one thing that I find kind of comical about Windows. I know it's start for everything else. Start this application, start the control panel, start my documents, but you don't start to shut down. So none of that on Apple. So you don't have to worry about that. But really, these days, there's not much keeping people from, other than some people don't like Apple. I mean, some people just don't like it, just like some people just don't like Windows, but there aren't very many reasons. I mean, people have arguments like there aren't any good applications out there for Mac, but really there are. You can pretty much, these days, you can find almost any application you want to do pretty much anything on the OS 10 platform. There's pretty much everything. I mean, Microsoft Office is there, so if you like Microsoft Office, but pretty much everything. Okay, get this. Using a Mac, I was able to extract every single radio station from the game Vice City. You know how difficult that was? Not very easy in Apple. I just downloaded like 3 different programs. One to rip the .vts file from the Vice City disk, which I just put in the computer, and then one to encode it into like some other weird codec, and then another one to encode it again from one to the other to MP3, and it's amazing, but I was able to do that on a Mac. That sounds like something that should only be done on PC. Ripping music from a video game into my iTunes library, it's possible on a Mac. So, if you're a multimedia developer, Photoshop runs great. There's also GIMP Shop, which I believe runs great if you don't want to fork over the bucks for Adobe Photoshop, but Final Cut Studio is available, a little bit better than what Windows has, Windows Movie Maker, and I really shouldn't compare Final Cut Studio, I should compare iMovie, but iMovie HD is just amazing. I mean, the newest version with the motion transitions and motion titles, it's really amazing. But Apple's got the software suite going for them. It's not even bloatware, it's software that you are actually going to use. And there's maybe not plenty of good BitTorrent clients out there, but there are a few. There's the BitTorrent client, which can be found at bittorrent.com, and then there's Tomato Torrent, which is my favorite. So torrents work. You got LimeWire for your direct downloads. You got MSN Messenger for Apple. You got everything you need running Apple. So check out Apple's website. They do have a site about switching and applications you might use. I'll throw a link that up right about there. And I'll get down to some tech content now with what you may have noticed, my new MacBook. Well, with the purchase of my new MacBook, I have officially broken a milestone that I really didn't want to break. I owe more than one company a substantial amount of money, so I think I get to consider myself in debt. But it's a small price to pay for such beauty and elegance in a computer. So, anyways, I got my MacBook. It rocks. The 2 GHz Intel Core Duo is just blazing fast. It starts up pretty much like that Snap over there, and the SuperDrive built-in comes standard with an 80 gig hard drive on a black model, 512 megabytes of RAM, Tiger, everything. It's just amazing. It has a built-in eyesight, of course. I know I already did most of my white one, but I really like the black one. And there's these rumors on the internet that it gets all greasy. It gets a little bit greasy every once in a while, and it's easy to clean. I just got some electronic cleaner, put it on there, wipe it off, comes right off. So it's amazingly sleek. I love the glossy screen. I like that about the original MacBook. That's why I went out and I actually bought another one. Sold the iMac, no more iMac. I kind of miss the 17-inch screen, but this guy's got the glossy screen. He's got the hookups. So nothing really different. The keyboard, like I said, is not like I said last time. Apple's gone completely new with the keyboard, so we're gonna re-review the MacBook. As you can see here, port-wise, we're running the new standard, the MagSafe power adapter, a 110 1000 gigabit Ethernet jack, a new mini DV jack, which it's a new one, FireWire 400, 2 USB 2.0s, and this is a great thing which I didn't cover in my last one. This comes standard on the MacBook, optical in and optical out, along with your same mini jack in and mini jack out, which is quite a surprise to me that they'd put that on the consumer model, the optical in and optical out. I find that as a great plus. When it comes to multimedia burning, Apple had to skimp a little bit here to keep the size down. It is only a 4x SuperDrive, which means it can burn DVDs back at 4 times, whether that be a DVD-R or RW. It is 4 times. I was really hoping for dual layer support, but you're gonna have to go with the Mac Pro to get that, or I believe the MacBook Pro also. I'm not sure about that. I'll find out. But really hoping for dual layer burning. That'd be really nice, a great feature, because dual layer is becoming a bit more popular. People stuffing more stuff on one disc, and now the next thing we're waiting for is the HD DVD or Blu-ray switch. As you can see, internally wise, it sports some really nice specs with a 2 megabyte level 2 cache, which is pretty impressive compared to the 512K, which used to be standard on, and still is standard on some PCs. So an increased bus speed up to 667 megahertz allows for faster memory and stuff like that. To 2 gigahertz Intel Core Duo, so we got 2 cores running at 2 gigahertz, which is blazing fast, but it can also at times be kind of hot. This is another area where Apple kind of saved a little bit of money, was going with integrated chipset. Now, I'm not a fan of integrated chipsets at all. I probably never will be. They're just, I suppose they're okay if you're not looking for a real gaming experience, but neither am I really. I just play Warcraft. So, considering this is an integrated chipset, it performs beautifully. It is shared memory, which is also a drawback, but it plays back 1080p films just fine, as I showed you with that Scanner Darkly review in my my first MacBook review. The maximum resolution is pretty good for a screen of this size. It's 1280 by 800 with 32-bit color, and the Core Image and Quartz Extreme are supported with the integrated graphics chipset, so plenty of features can be enabled on your games, even though it's not really meant for
a gaming machine. Battery power. When the airport and Bluetooth are turned on this thing, the battery is amazing. Right now, I've had it unplugged for about 10-15 minutes, and it still says I have 4 hours and 30 minutes. That's amazing. So, I'd have to say about a 4.5 hour with the airport turned on, even less with Bluetooth, but Bluetooth really shouldn't be on all the time unless you have a phone around. So, amazing battery playback time. I'm not sure what it is with the DVD, but I'm sure it must be kind of impressive. So, the battery is great. This is an ultra portable laptop. I recommend it to all of you.
I know what time it is. Do you guys know what time it is? No, don't look at your clock. You can't tell this time by the clock. It comes and goes, but I'll tell you what time it is. It's time for your dark tip. Alrighty, up next is our dark tip, and that's going to go into a little bit about the hacking side of computers and more of the illegal stuff you can do. So, wasn't actually able to get a hold of the dark tipper today, but I was able to contact him earlier in the week. So he gave me some tips on what he thinks I should be doing. So get ready for the dark tip of the day. Alright, so let's say maybe physical labor isn't your method of choice for earning money. There is one other way that you can get money by just doing a little bit of typing. And some of you may know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about hacking. Serious hacking. Hacking into a bank, other computers for profit. Now, this is a very risky thing, and I'm not encouraging it, and I don't even know how to do it. But if you do get interested, I do have one website that you might want to check out for your hacking tools and tips that you're going to need to get the money you need so you don't have to work. So you're going to want to take a gander over to hackingexposed.com/tools/tools.html, and when you go to this site, they're going to have all sorts of different applications, denial of service applications, infiltrating applications, informational request applications, all categorized, and just very good site if you want to get into hacking. So that's the dark tip. I got this from the dark tip. I wasn't able to get a hold of him this week. I'm sorry. Hopefully I'll be able to get him on the show next week, or next month whenever we get another show. But that's your dark tip, hacking 101. So check it out. hackingexposed.com/tools/tools.html for all of your hacking needs. Alrighty, up next I got a nice Mac tip for, not really a Mac tip, but more of a software tip. We're going to be looking at Adobe Photoshop CS2 and some of the power they can unleash within Adobe's Photoshop, because really once you get Adobe, once you know what everything does, I mean there's nothing stopping you. You can do pretty much anything in Adobe, so here's your Adobe tip. Adobe Photoshop is one of my favorite programs just because it's so versatile, and once you learn Photoshop, there's really nothing stopping your limitations to what you can do. It's just Photoshop is a full-featured program, and if you know what to do, you can make some amazing art. So I'm going to give you a tip to help you improve your Photoshop skills.
Alright, today we're going to look at making a reflection image. So the first thing you're going to do is get your image and open up the original and then make a copy and open it up in another window. So make sure your first one is the active layer, and then you're going to want to go to Image, Rotate Canvas, Flip Canvas Vertically. So you do that, there you go, it's upside down now, which will make it look more like the reflection. Then somehow copy your image, go over to your second window, make sure it's the active window, and then choose to paste your image. Alright, now align your image with right beneath the other one. You don't want it really touching, you're going to want a little bit more room. Whatever your personal preference is for reflection, I don't know, I think right about there looks good. So now we have the beginning of our reflection. It's 100% reflection, it's doing its job, but the next thing we're going to want to do is move over to the Layers tab on the right hand side of your computer. And then on the layer 2, which is the layer you just pasted in, which would be the bottom picture, you're going to want to right click on the layers and choose blending options. Now dialog window is going to come up with all sorts of options, but we're going to want to choose the gradient overlay. And as you can do that, you can see that the picture just went to a black to gray overlay, which is what we're not looking for. So go over here and choose a different kind of gradient. We want to look for the second one in, which is foreground to transparent. Choose that. You can see it's going to start looking more like a reflection now. Now that you have your you've chosen a gradient overlay and you're starting to get a reflection, there's a few more things you can do. You can mess around with opacity, which will make it look clearer or more of a faded effect. And then there's a scale, which is really what does the reflection here. You can either have it up for a very nice looking reflection or bring it down for a more vivid looking reflection. And another thing you can do is there's a little box that says align with layers. If you uncheck that, it makes things completely different. So mess around with that until you find something you like. Alrighty then, I think I got my reflection set up. So that was what, maybe 2 minutes of work and you have yourself a nice reflection. I'm going to save this and open it up and see what it looks like. Okay. Save it as a JPEG, a PNG, a GIF, your choice. Alright, there's our reflection, and here's a reflected image at 100% size, the other one was 200%. So, as you can see, a very nice looking reflected image. This works great on web pages, looks very nice. And there's all sorts of nice things you can do with Photoshop. But that's my Photoshop tip for today. Hopefully that showed some of you how to do that, that you didn't know already. So let's get on to some more tech.
Alright, so hopefully that helped you out. The reflections, the more time you spend with it, the better they're going to look. There's all sorts of levels, different customization, just tweaking to your own preferences, the different levels of reflections you want. So hopefully that helps you out with your software. So, alrighty, thanks for tuning in to Thinkcast number 13. The surprise you may not have known, but it was a revamping of appleaddiction.net. So hopefully you like it. Give me your feedback, and like I said last episode, you got anything you want in Thinkcast, send it to me. Chances are, no matter what it is, I'll put it in just because I mean, it's nice to see from you guys, like, what you guys' likes are like. So just grab a camera or even write stuff for me. You can just write stories, reviews, and stuff like that. So send it to me, I'll get in the next edition of Thinkcast. So back to the new appleaddiction.net. The forums are up. Please register. Get some discussions going. I'd really like to have more of an active community here with Apple Addiction. I know I got more viewers than I think I do, but this is a way for me to find out. So go to the forums, which is located in the upper right-hand corner, right next to releases. And releases is where you can find every single previous episode of Thinkcast, going all the way back to number 1. So check out those links, and I would like to say thanks to Verev, that's VEREV.com, for hosting the new appleaddiction.net and some of the site design. So check him out, and great hosting. If you are looking for hosting, check him out. Great guy. So far, I'm satisfied with hosting. So Steel Line here from Dig Nation. Till next time, I'm Luke Wesley.